Morning. It is October 22nd today, and they're having a fight here in McDonald's in the back here. Not sure what's going on. But anyway, it's October 22nd, and it is my dad's heavenly birthday today. He'd have been 84 years old. And also, this is the 6th anniversary of Kathy's motorcycle accident. So, thankful that she is still with me. But I do think about that day often. So today, though, I am out here in Oxford, Massachusetts, meeting my buddy Gordon at McDonald's. And we're going to go out for a 4-day trip out to Lake George. So we're going to head up to Bennington first and meet our buddy Joe. So we'll get on the road here in a few minutes as soon as Gordon gets here. Say good morning, Gordon.
Good morning, Gordon. I watched a lot of laughing. What can I say?
After leaving McDonald's, the weather turned kind of cold, damp, and dreary, so I didn't shoot a lot of video. What you see here is from the ride over to pick up Gordon. The roads over to Lake George were also kind of uninspiring. Word to the wise, never trust a Goldwing GPS. All right, so this is my buddy Joe that we picked up. Gordon and I picked him up in Bennington, and now we are in Lake George. It was kind of a dreary day coming out today, but tomorrow we're looking forward to getting out and doing some great riding. Gordon wants to know if I want to videotape his taco. Go. Good morning. We're headed for breakfast and some coffee. It's 43 degrees out today. Ready to ride.
After we just reviewed motorcycle death statistics as a pep talk. Thank you, Craig.
We opted for one of the budget hotels in the area, the Howard Johnson's, and all they had for breakfast was some weak coffee. So our spot we ended up going to each morning was the Fort William Henry Hotel, as most of the other breakfast places were either not open or didn't open till 8 o'clock in the morning. Come on. After breakfast, we took a little stroll to digest and let things warm up a little bit, and we visited one of the 2 Dillygaff locations in town. For rides, we borrowed a couple of GPX files from the New England Riders group. Thanks, Ed, and all of the other guys who put that site together. So we're out for about an hour so far, and temps have dropped down to 38, so a little bit of a chilly day today. So, but we're going to push on at least until we see snow. While the day started off sunny, it soon got overcast and even a little drizzly. Temps dropped down to about 37 degrees. Eventually, we would make our way to a little convenience store where I stopped to pee by a stream, and a young lady gave us directions to a great place to warm up and to get some lunch. Where the hell are we anyway? I don't even know where we are. Old Forge, New York. Yeah. So we found this cool little.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
We found a cool little coffee shop here, Aussie's. So we're having lunch and, of course, some coffee to warm up because it's like 37 degrees. After lunch, we got lucky and the sun came out, and we made our way back to Lake George on a beautiful section of highway, New York 10. So right here, I'm going to shut up and just let you enjoy a couple of minutes of this fantastic section of tarmac. After wiping the smiles from our faces from riding on 110, we made our way across the great Ticonderoga Lake and then up its South Shore Road, headed towards home for the evening. For dinner that evening, we chose a great little Italian place just down the street from the hotel and managed to indulge on a little cheesecake. So day 2 up here, waiting for the sun to come up, waiting for it to get a little bit warmer, waiting for the guys to come down and join me. Then we'll head over for some breakfast again, and then gonna go out and see what we can find today. The Howard Johnson's where we were staying really wasn't that bad of a place. They just didn't have many amenities like breakfast and good coffee. The rooms were actually clean and they were cheap. However, next time if we go again during the off season, we're gonna stay at the Fort William Henry Conference Center. This second day of riding in the Adirondacks, well, it started off again pretty cold and dreary. But there were some highlights, one of those being getting to ride Ensign Pond Road. Now, originally, we saw that this road was marked as being closed, but a neighbor that lived right there at the entrance to the road told us that cars had been going down the road all day long, and he thought things had dried up from the flood that they had a few days ago. So we decided to give it a shot, and good thing we did, because the road is amazing. Well, after just thoroughly enjoying Ensign Pond Road, when we came to the end, the boys started screaming for pie. They noticed that one of their favorite pie places was just about 20 to 30 minutes away, so I said, oh, what the hell? Let's give it a shot. And wouldn't you know that on the way to the pie place, well, we found another great road. That is Tracy Road. Again, just a lot of fun to ride. Eventually, we found our way to the Noon Mark Diner, where the boys got their pie.
Well, we just bailed on our ride plan for the day because these two had to get pie.
In putting this video together, I just realized I forgot to take any pictures of the pie. Well, that was probably because I didn't have any because I had too much cheesecake the night before. After pie, well, we set out for Ticonderoga, New York, where we were going to go to the highlight of the day, and that is the Star Trek Original Set Tour. If you are a Star Trek fan like I am, or a sci-fi fan again like I am, then you owe it to yourself to get up to Ticonderoga, New York and go through the Star Trek original set tour. The history of this original set tour goes back to 1997 when a gentleman named James Cawley, who happened to be 2 years old the time the original series went off the air, became a big fan and decided to start collecting memorabilia from the original series. Well, this went on to recreating the original sets after he was able to acquire the blueprints from Desilu Studios for the purposes of recreating the original sets for some fan-based films which he would produce and star in. And interestingly enough, at least according to Wikipedia, he funded all of this with his income of being an Elvis impersonator. Eventually, in about 2014, the set would find its permanent home in Ticonderoga, New York, in an old family dollar store. Mr. Cawley and his team have done a great job of recreating these sets with as much authenticity as they possibly could, using, of course, updated and modern materials. It was a blast to go in there and basically relive my childhood. I was about 10 years old when the series went off the air, and I remember watching it with my family every week. Over the years, many of the actors and crew from the original series have visited the museum. In fact, William Shatner is scheduled to be there again in the middle of November 2023, and there are various packages that you can purchase ranging from $150 up to $1,500 for a dinner and talk with Mr. Shatner. Well, my buddy Gordon says that's a little bit steep, but if they would throw in a ride in the Batmobile that we hear they're working on, we may think about that one. After we were done with the Star Trek tour, well, we just got on New York's 9N. This is a beautiful ride that runs along Lake George as we headed back to have our final dinner for this trip. After a great dinner, we spent some time sitting by the outdoor fire and chatting with some fellow travelers. On our final morning, we were greeted by a rainbow that ended not in a pot of gold, but this time in a lobster pot. All right, gear on, ready to climb aboard the bike. The other guys have already headed out, so we're all going our separate ways from Lake George here. Great weekend, great few days up here, beautiful riding, even though it got a little chilly at times. So this is definitely a place we're going to plan on coming back again next year. All right, so I'm home. Another successful trip. A little over 900 miles in the 4 days of this trip. And this is the first one this year that it hasn't rained on the way home. So that's a good sign. I'm going to celebrate with this cigar before I wash all the smuts out of my beard. Thanks to Gordon and Joe for having me along and for keeping it lively on this trip. We had a great time hanging out and riding beautiful roads out in the Adirondacks. So, great trip overall.